Well, we have a news station carrying us in Cabool, Missouri, KOZX, and I was speaking with the station owner earlier today, and I call up and develop what I hope is a good rapport with the fine network of radio stations that carry this program, and we have a very dedicated group of affiliates that we're very proud to be associated with, and sometimes a new affiliate needs a little hand-holding because of the nature of this program. So we are going to bring Shelley, who is the co-owner of KOZX, on the air with us, and she will express to you and to us some of the problems she's having as a new affiliate to this of this program. And I will ask our listeners to explain to Shelley how to best deal with this, the problem she's experienced. But let us begin with Radio Graffiti. It is one sentence only, as we take the pulse of the nation with the most exciting interactive radio on the planet. Hello.
The U.S. is bluffing China.
You're on. Hello.
The real doctors of death are Russia's buddies in the tobacco companies, who contribute to nearly 500,000 involuntary suicides each year.
And you're on. Hello.
I wash myself with a rag on a stick.
Hello.
Elizabeth Dole was quoted Wednesday as saying upon Bob Dole's election as president that when the end of government, that when the federal government is out of the way, there is no limit to what states can do.
You're on.
Alan, is it true that Bryant Gumbel and Uncle Remus will star in a new movie called Black Men Can't Act?
I'm sorry you have a problem with black men in high-visibility positions, sir, but you're going to have to learn how to cope with that because this is America in 1996, and it's a shame that you feel so unable to accept the direction this country's going in. Hello.
Well, hello, Combs. You get on the air every day.
Yes, I do. Hello.
Alan, did your mother have any children that lived?
Let me ask you a question. Do you think you're very creative saying that? Do you think you're the first person to ever make that statement? I mean, you're really
I'm
proud.
the first one
You're
who ever said it.
really proud of yourself for making that comment?
I love it.
Yeah. Hello.
Hello, Alan. I was wondering if you thought it ironic, if not amusing, that among the allegations attributed to the Detroit Mafia, that Janet Reno stated that they contributed to the corruption of public officials.
Hello.
Hey, I've noticed that Bob Dole supporters and sheep have striking similarities.
Nah. Hello.
Alan, beware of the closet Nazi Limbaugh.
Hello. Yes.
I hate it for a hunka, a sliced piece of chunka. I hate it for a hunk of bigamia.
Hello.
Not only does Rush Limbaugh screen his callers, according to sources inside his operation, people who are given prearranged scripts call into his program, against which he then stages a dialogue using his own prearranged script.
No. Hello.
If Bob Dole requests Colin Powell as his running mate, it will be the demise of the Republican Party.
Interestingly, Kenneth Duberstein, a former Reagan chief of staff, as opposed to a President Reagan chief of staff, said yesterday on CNN that the door is closed, that Powell will not be a candidate for the nomination for vice president. The door is closed. He averred that. He, in a proactive manner, stated that. It's going to be even more difficult for Powell to say, I've heard the call of my... Look, if Powell was really hearing the call of his country, and if there was a chance that Bob Dole would be able... And when you say the name, you have to say it the way he does, Bob Dole. If there was a chance that he could, meaning Bob Dole, convince Powell to be on the ticket, Powell would be starting to make those kinds of noises now. He is indeed going in the opposite direction. Hello.
3 hours of the truth, now 1 hour of the goof.
Beautiful. Hello.
In the Dole family, I think it's Elizabeth that we need to find out whether wears briefs or boxers.
Mm-hmm. Hello.
Isn't it about time your voice changed?
I'm reaching that age very shortly. Hello.
The Miller Supreme Court decision, which Ellen misuses, stated that any weapon which could be used by a militia would be constitutional for an American citizen to own and use.
The 1939 Miller decision is the standing decision concerning gun rights in America. It is not aver that the Second Amendment states that every American has the right to bear a gun. Hello.
Scotland has very strict gun laws.
Yes, it does. Hello, one sentence only.
Is it true you look like MacGyver with a clown wig?
Yes. Hello.
Steve Forbes quit the Republican race today to run for chief of the Flathead tribe.
Do you know that Steve Forbes spent what it boils down to $330,000 per delegate? Why not just give, half that to everybody who's going to be a delegate? I'd take it. For 115 grand, I'd be a delegate for Forbes.
No bennies.
Huh? No bennies? 115 grand, you get your own bennies. What are you talking about? Hello.
Why do all your liberal callers sound brain dead?
Hello.
Yeah, see, Abdul Skyhook decided to stand for the American flag instead of going back to Africa to chuck spears at warthogs.
Well, isn't it nice to know that the people who disagree with you are doing so out of a place of prejudice and racism, forgetting, of course, that the former Chris Jackson was born in America and is and always has been an American citizen, whose statement, by the way, yesterday should really warm the hearts of American citizens, because he said, this is the statement yesterday of Mahmoud Abdul Rauf, who said, "My intentions were not in any way to be disrespectful to those who regard the national anthem as a sacred ceremony. I am an African American, a citizen of this country, and one who respects freedom of speech and freedom of expression." It sounds pretty constitutional to me. Hello.
When everybody stands up for the flag, I forgot what I was going to say.
Right. Hello.
How many members are in Russia's bra club for men?
Hello.
Yeah, Alan, the reason you and your liberal friends should lay off Bob Dole is because you're going to have 4 years to make fun of him when he takes the White House next January.
Be the best thing that ever happened to me in this show. Hello.
Hi, Alan. All Pennsylvania citizens should be outraged at the Gestapo-backed House Bill 860.
All right, what is Gestapo? What? No, he went away. I wanted to ask him what was in 860. Was that the anti-terrorism bill? Hello.
Alan, could you please start playing the national anthem on your show?
Only if you'll stand.
I will.
Hello.
Alan Colmes, he'll take a good idea and make it sound like crap.
That was yesterday's moniker for the show. That's what I do. That's what I do.
Like.
All right. Hello.
Only the foolish would be without a firearm on his or her person in a day when packs of vicious savages run in the streets because liberals have let them out of prisons.
Isn't it amazing that liberals are responsible for everything wrong with our society and conservatives do everything right, no pun intended, and isn't it so convenient and easy to blame the other political party for everything that you detest? And we know what it does? It absolves you of having personal responsibility. But isn't personal responsibility something conservatives claim one should claim for themselves? Hello.
Alan, I hope Mr. Raouf sues him. You know why?
Why?
Because I'd like to see if he'd refuse to stand for the judge.
Hello.
Why does it bother Alan so much that Steve Forbes spends his own money instead of ours?
Hello.
This is Bob Dole. You know, and I know, and the American people know that I wear a Grecian formula.
Hello.
Governor Glendenning of Maryland, just another anti-gun nut.
And you're on, one sentence only.
Alan, is it true that Denver Nugget Mackerel Abdul Rauf name means rotten watermelon in Arabic?
Mm-hmm. See, ladies and gentlemen, what you put up with. You see when the other side argues what level it must degenerate to. 1-800-932-9638. I'm Alan Colmes. Welcome to the program. We'll be talking later with the Libertarian Party candidate for president. Will be right here with us. Harry Brown will be with us. On tomorrow's program, Dick Armey, Mr. Congeniality in Congress. Dick Armey will be on the program tomorrow.
By the way,
yeah.
Before we get to our esteemed guest,
yes, sir.
We had someone send in a tape who would like to be a possible Colmes sub whenever. I know that's impossible. Whenever you go away.
Takes off.
But you want to hear a little bit of the air check?
Yeah. Who is it?
It's based on basically yesterday's show and what we were talking about. How anybody essentially could host yesterday's show.
I said basically a dog could host the show, given yesterday's stuff.
Pretty good, huh?
This dog makes more sense.
Very articulate.
This dog makes more sense than many radio hosts I've listened to. No. That's inflammatory.
I think he's pretty good.
Makes a lot of sense to me.
He brings the issues out and yet kind of balances things at the same time.
Yes, but his bark is bigger than his bite. Ladies and gentlemen, we welcome Shelley Wood. Hi, Shelley.
Hi.
Shelley is co-owner is correct, right?
Yes.
Of KOZX in Cabool, Missouri. You're an FM station, 98.1.
We sure are.
And now I think it's great that FM stations are doing talk radio. This format is a comer on the FM band. Now, Shelley is a new affiliate at KOZX, and I called Shelley earlier today just to say, how's it going? Now that we've been on the station, I think, 2 weeks?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Close to that.
And I asked you if you would just tell me, what you were experiencing and how it was going, and maybe you'd like to share with our listeners
what I said.
What you told me on the phone earlier.
I said, Alan, we got a little problem.
Yeah.
And you said, tell me about it. And I said that ever since we've been airing your show, that I've got nothing but flack from our listeners.
Yeah.
And I go on there and I try and pump you up and defend you because I like you, and it hasn't done any good. And some of the things that they said is, they want to hear music. That one.
Well, see, you had been a music station
right.
up until taking this program, and so you got to expect some of that. Yeah, go ahead.
And they say that this area is too laid back and you're too fast-paced for them. They say people around here just want to get along, and you're so argumentative.
What do you mean I'm argumentative? What do you mean by that?
And, talk is the fastest-growing format on radio today.
It is, and many...
I want to try something new and innovative, but I just keep hearing how obnoxious you are. And that you're always in conflict with people, and you're short with people, and you cut people up, and you don't let them finish their...
Oh, that's enough, Shelley.
I set you up for that. But
yeah, go ahead.
I don't know what to do. I like your show, but if I'm going to be getting all this flack from our listeners, what am I going to do?
Now, I understand the conflict you have, Shelley. I mean, you are a station owner and manager who wants to be on the leading edge. You want to be progressive in your programming. You are ready to move into the late 90s now by moving your format toward what is the fastest growing format in radio today.
That's right.
And, of course, taking this program, which is on the leading edge of that format.
Right. Your program is in the top 10 of all talk shows on the radio, right?
Well, I don't know what you're reading, but...
well, you said that.
Well, if I say it, it must be true.
A couple weeks ago I heard you say
that. No, we were written up, in some magazine about it. But anyway, the point is that you are doing what you believe is the right thing for your community and for your listeners, and yet you are experiencing flack. You know why? Because people are resistant to change.
I know.
And you are taking not just a talk station and putting on a provocative program like this, but you are taking a music station where people are used to no controversy, and the only time they hear talk would be, when they're during the commercials. And here we are doing this hard-hitting, high-profile program, and people are having an adverse reaction to it. And so here's what I'd like to do, Shelley. Because we had a nice chat earlier today, and you thought that if I got on the air and would explain to your listeners and to other listeners, because we're new in a number of places, Fort Myers, Florida, WWCN, brand new affiliate, that if I get on the air, and perhaps what I should do more often is explain to the new listeners we have on an increasingly regular basis that this is an acquired taste, but like fine scotch, like single malt scotch, you may not like it right away, but once you really start to appreciate it, you can't live without it.
You'll grow to love it.
And I'd like to express this to your listeners, but I thought that an even more effective way of dealing with this, more effective than me doing it, would be people who've listened to this program for a while, people who have been faithful supporters of this program, to call up and advise you themselves as to how you should cope with your listeners who obviously you want to maintain, and you don't want to anger the community or turn away those people who've been loyal to your radio station.
No, I certainly don't. And we're not abandoning our music either.
Right.
We're just trying 2 or 3 hours a day of talk.
Right. And in a community like yours, you can do what is called a full-service format, where you don't have to be one thing all the time.
We're eclectic.
Right. So we are... I'm going to open up our phones now, and I thought the best way to deal with this, because while we have Shelley Wood of KOZX on the air, there may be other feathers that are being ruffled elsewhere in America, and we thought if we dealt with this with you, we could once and for all put aside some of the concerns that people have about shows like this.
Well, I hope you can help me today. I really appreciate
And who knows how many other stations are listening to us, as you did that one day, listen to us on the satellite, say, maybe this is right for my radio station.
Yeah, that's what I said.
In fact, Shelley is one of the rare people who actually called this show. You actually were a caller on the show. You called up the show to say, how can I take this program for my radio station?
Mm-hmm.
You came right to the source. So we're going to go to our phones and let our listeners talk to you about this. But I thought I would share with you, before we do that, Shelley, a piece of email that Natalie, the producer of this program, received last evening.
Okay.
Because, we are on the World Wide Web, and the staff of this program is emailable, and this was a piece of email that Natalie handed me just a few hours before showtime. And here's what it says. It says, Natalie, I want you to know that I love Alan's show, but do you mind if I make a suggestion? See, and Shelley, this only proves that we are listener responsive and radio station responsive.
Yeah, and you're ready for constructive criticism.
I mean, tell me how many other radio programs that you might take would be doing this with you right now.
None.
All right. So this listener says, do you mind if I make a suggestion? He has these attitude problems that sometimes change my opinion of his show and him personally. He says, I give you my permission, and I know you've probably thought about it, to throttle him on the air. Natalie, what do you think this listener means that you should throttle me on the air?
He wants me to put you in line.
All right,
when
fine.
you veer off a little bit.
He says, I listen to hear the funny parts of his show and the bits, but when he gets so obnoxious that we want to shut him off, what good is the fun? Just a thought. Thanks for listening. Love you.
Mean it.
I kind of take that personally. What good is the fun? I'm the fun of this program.
You're right.
The
exactly.
funny parts.
He said, and this is an avid listener in Carbondale, Colorado. And the fact is that, sometimes we do get a little passionate on this program about what we believe. And yesterday I think I was particularly sarcastic.
Could be, yeah.
Because of this flag issue and this basketball player who I think should have the right not to stand when the national anthem is played. And then, see, people call up sometimes what I think are sometimes weak arguments, and sometimes I have my tongue in my cheek, you know what I mean?
Well, don't answer the phone saying, how have I annoyed you today?
Well, I thought that was a good bit. I thought that helped us deal with some of this
That automatically puts someone on the negative side.
Well, but we do annoy people.
Okay.
But rather than ignore it or sweep it under the rug, I thought to be upfront about it, to be proactive and say, how have I annoyed you today? Tell me, and then try to work it out with that listener.
Well, just say hello.
But
hi.
I want to deal with every listener on a one-to-one basis. If I could just take every listener aside personally and talk to them, I know I can win them over.
I had a fellow call in today to voice his opinion about your show today on your show, and he said, no, he'd rip me from limb to limb.
But aren't you thrilled to know, Shelley, that listeners in your market are listening to this program, that they're responding, that they're picking up when was the last time they picked up a phone and called to complain about a Conway Twitty record?
Never.
But at least you know they're listening.
Yeah, that's true.
All right, now we're going to take...
I wanted them to keep listening, though.
But I think they will. I think this is the crux. This is the moment that's going to convince them to do it.
All right.
So when we come back, we'll open up our phone lines, and our listeners will have messages perhaps for you and your listeners to help them soothe themselves, ease over the transition, the hump, as it were, that will enable them to enjoy this show into the next century, okay?
Thank you.
All right, so we'll come right back with Shelley Wood of KOZX. Later in the program, Harry Brown, the Libertarian Party candidate for President of the United States.
From the raisins.
Getting down with a funky boogie. All right, Shelley Wood of KOZX, Cabool, Missouri, brand new affiliate, having a crisis, having an emotional crisis because of what this program has done to her community.
That's right.
And let me ask you, when you go out and you're at the local Stop and Shop or something, I mean, are people stopping you now and saying, "What have you done to your radio station?"
They're doing that to our salespeople. I'm just staying in.
So, in other words, you've barricaded yourself in the radio station.
I don't even want to go to the grocery store.
And the salespeople are being stopped. They're being harassed now on the streets of Cabool.
Yeah, and now they're mad at the salespeople are mad at me.
But wait a second, how are sales going with the country format?
Just fine, great, wonderful.
Well, then why did you change?
Because I want to try something new.
But you're saying sales were good, right? I mean, the money was flowing in, right?
Well, I wouldn't say that, no. But I like talk
But the point,
radio.
my point is, with a program, a higher profile visibility thing like this, you could probably pump up the sales, right?
Yes, and I wanted to get some new listeners that might like this kind of format.
Right. All right. Let us have our listeners counsel you and console you, Shelley.
Okay.
Our number is 1-800-932-9638. Mark in
Is it lay down for this, or?
Well, I think you'll be determining that. Mark in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
Hello, Alan. I'm a first-time caller to the regular portion of your show.
Yes, sir.
And I would like to start off by thanking WBCW in Jeanette, Pennsylvania, for having your show on the air.
Right. Thank you very much.
I am, Shelley, I am generally to the right of Pat Buchanan.
That's impossible.
And I listen to Alan quite a bit. In fact, Alan, I was just on graffiti and said about Pennsylvania House Bill 860.
Yes. What is 860? Is that the terrorism bill?
Not exactly. 860, if enacted, allows for any policing agency, DER, any state policing agency, or any municipal or township police agency,
right,
to knock on your door and ask to come in and search your house any time of the day
I think
or night.
that might be the addendum to the terrorism bill. But go ahead and make your point to Shelley.
Well, there's a lot more to to the 860, but
right.
I would just like to tell Shelley that I'm a country boy. I am laid back also, but I think Alan's show brings a bit of diversity and something that some of the other shows don't do, especially when you disagree with some of his points. And he does allow you to to get on the air and make your point.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Now you'll find, Shelley, that many other radio programs will only have calls that reflect the host a lot, but we don't do that, and that's why we think we stand out.
Yeah,
even someone
Alan,
like Mark can get on the air with us.
As you said, Alan, a big majority of your listeners seem to be on the conservative side.
That's correct. Now we have a mostly conservative. Most of my listeners are not in sync with me philosophically
I don't know, Alan.
or spiritually.
Maybe it's your hair.
What's that?
Maybe it's your hair.
It is the hair. The hair has a lot to do with it. All right. Thank you very much.
Okay,
Mark.
thank you.
So far, Shelley, I hope you're getting some soothing here, some healing. Hope some healing is taking place.
A little bit.
All right, let's move on. Let's go to Michelle in New Bern, North Carolina.
Hi, Alan.
Hi, Michelle.
Shelley, if you're going to have talk, you've got to have Alan. He's the kind of guy that you just hate to love.
Mm-hmm.
He always keeps you on your toes. He's got a quick wit, and I think most of his listeners do too.
Okay.
There you go.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much. You see, I mean, we're not stacking the calls a certain way, Shelley, by the way.
I know that.
All right. Let's go to Jim in Parkersburg, West Virginia.
Hello, Alan.
Yes, sir.
Hang in there, Shelley.
Thanks, Jim.
Hang in there because several reasons why you should stick with Alan's show. Number one, it's always easy to get to because of the limited number of callers.
Yeah, because there are a limited number of listeners. We don't want to get too big. You know what I mean?
Limited audience.
Exactly. We're like a cult.
And the people in this country need to hear the ridiculous liberal side of some of these arguments. And Alan presents them very good. He's a rubber stamp for Bill Clinton.
That's why I oppose him on Bosnia and on sending warships to Taiwan. But according to this guy, I'm a rubber stamp. But go ahead.
I said you didn't let me finish. I said 99% of the time.
Oh, 99%. Yeah.
And people need to hear some of the ridiculous arguments, like when you got Jay Rockefeller from my home state saying that the people of this country are going to health care whether they want it or not. Now, if that doesn't signify a communist, socialist attitude, and you need to hear stuff like that to get, to figure out where these people are coming from, to figure out how to defeat them.
Right. So Jim, see, Shelley, Jim, much as he disagrees with me, listens to me, and he realizes he needs me because he's got to have someone to hate.
Well,
no, I don't hate you. No, I don't hate. I need to hear the ridiculous side of some of these arguments, and you present them really well.
See, this way Jim can feel much better about who he is.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
That's not why I do it.
Yeah, but it's true. I mean, people listen to me, they think I'm so ridiculous, and they go back and they say, I don't need therapy. I don't need any personal help.
That's it. Alan is our very own cost-cutter psychiatrist.
Right.
Well, then, plus I know they're not near as screwed up as you
they're
are.
not as nuts as they people think they have a bunch of problems and they're really messed up. Then they hear me and they think, I'm okay.
Yeah, that's why people watch soap operas.
Right.
Too.
Thank you very much, Jim. Thank you very much.
He was being sarcastic.
No, I think he really means that.
You think he really does?
Absolutely. But I mean, how are you feeling now, Shelley? You feeling a little, so far a little better?
I'm 40% there.
All right, let's keep going then. Tony in Burlington, Vermont.
Hi, Alan. Hi, Shelley.
Hi.
I just want to say, give it a little time. Tell your listeners, give it the show a little time. It's an extremely intelligent show, and one of my favorite parts of it, it's extremely funny. I will laugh out loud through half the program.
And that's when I'm being serious.
And the jokes are quick, the wit is sharp, and you've really got to listen. But
by the way, Charlie, let's use this as a demo tape.
Positively.
Yeah, right, go ahead.
I can't go without the show. On days when it's the best of, I listen to those, but I'm just waiting for the next show. On the weekends, I'm just waiting for Monday to come so I can hear it again.
Basically, Tony has a very empty life. He's a shell of a man whose life revolves around me.
When I get home from work, the show is on, and I start cooking dinner, and I just got to hear it. And Shelley, you wait and see. And like I say, the best part, it's very informative and very, very funny.
Now, our phone lines are pretty jammed today, so I don't know if we'll get. But I'd love to hear from some people listening on KOZX in Cabool, and see if they can talk to Shelley and work it out with her right here.
This is your chance to call in, folks. If you've got an opinion about this show, call Alan now.
But our phones are pretty jammed. All right, thank you, Tony.
Thank you.
I appreciate what you said. All right, Robert in Northwest Arkansas.
Hi.
Yes. Hi, Robert.
You should keep this show because it's worth every penny you pay for it. It's free.
Right. I mean, normally you couldn't get talent this bad at half the price.
Yes, and Alan very, very rarely makes up facts. He usually gets the facts straight and doesn't make them up.
Right. That's very lovely of you to say, Robert. Thank you very much. Chuck in Waco, Texas.
Yes, Shelley, I just wanted to say the two most important reasons to keep the show are, number one, it's the most calls in the shortest possible time, and in most markets across America, it follows a strictly one-sided conservative program, and it brings balance to the airways.
Okay, thank you.
Good luck.
All right, how you doing, Shelley? How you feeling right now?
I feel,
this is like a group therapy session, isn't it?
I am feeling better.
This is like therapy.
Yeah, I think I can go off my medicine now.
All right, well, you hold on just a moment, and don't you imbibe anything during this commercial break, okay? We'll be right back. I'm Alan Colmes, and later on in the program, Harry Brown, the Libertarian Party candidate for president. On tomorrow's program, Congressman Dick Armey and Jesse Winchester, who is a prostitute running for Congress from Nevada. And with us now is Shelley Wood, co-owner of KOZX, our brand new affiliate in Cabool, Missouri, 98.1 FM. Very hip, Shelley, taking the station in talk direction, by the way.
Thank you.
But
I'm glad you like that.
But, well, of course, it benefits me. But, Shelley, a little nervous because of what this show has wrought in terms of listener reaction and advertiser reaction. And we just, Shelley and I, when we spoke earlier, because I just called to check, see how the show was doing, and only after we hung up, I thought, why don't we put Shelley on the air and let her express this and let the people who actually hear the show respond. And we happen to have on the program now Frank Rush, who is the program director of our affiliate in Terre Haute, Indiana. How you doing, Frank?
Not bad, Alan. How you doing
Frank
today?
runs WTHI, and Lord knows what he's going to say.
Well, the only thing that I would say is that, look, Alan politically is wrong. He always has been.
There goes, you see, they're talking about
He always has been, he always will be. But what you have to realize about Alan's show is, above all else, it's entertaining and it's good radio.
You see, it's people talking about the liberal media, and here, of course, Frank admits that he is not part of the liberal media establishment. He is a conservative, and yet a smart one who's willing to put on a program with a different point of view than his own.
Well, a lot of our listeners have realized, I mean, we're very conservative here in Indiana, just the same as, where'd you say, Arkansas?
Cabool, Missouri.
Missouri, I'm sorry. Okay, yeah, almost right next door to us here, just a few miles away. And, yeah, you're going to have some folks call in and complain, but you have to remember, too, more people will call and complain about something they don't like than people will call and praise something they do.
Exactly.
So,
exactly.
Hey, just, the ones that complain, thank them for their calls, and let them go on. They'll like the show or they'll go away, but you'll still attract a lot more listeners because it is entertaining, entertaining radio. And that's what we're here for, is to entertain.
There you go. Now, there you have it from a fellow programmer, Shelley.
That's what I've been thinking. That's what I've been thinking.
One thing you got to remember is that with talk radio, you can't just make a decision in a couple of weeks. This is a format that has to grow on people, and you got to ride out the storm. The first couple of weeks, actually the first couple of months, is always the roughest with any new show. I mean, I do my own show here, and I've had people that call in and hate me.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah, really. But once they get used to it, and with all the other shows we've got, they like it, you know. So you just kind of have to ride out the storm. You can't make snap decisions in a couple of weeks. You know, it's a format that requires a little bit of courage, and I know you've got it. We do, and after all, it's one of the biggest formats in the country.
How do you feel? How do you feel now, Shelley?
Courageous, very courageous.
Thank you very much, Frank. The check will be in the
thanks for a good show. Appreciate it.
check will be in the mail. Thank you very much. Dan in Hartsville, South Carolina.
Hey.
Hi, Dan.
Alan. Hey. Shelley.
Yes.
I've got, my wife's from Cabool, so I know where Cabool is, unlike most of these people calling. And I don't know what your bottom line is. I disagree totally with Alan politically, but it's one of the funnier shows on radio. However, my mother-in-law lives there. I know a lot of people there. And I think it's going to take more than a few months.
Because your mother-in-law is what you're saying has no sense of humor. That's what you're saying, right?
Oh, no.
Okay.
My mother-in-law's got a great sense of humor. But the people of Cabool and Mountain Grove and Houston, I don't know how far the radio station reaches. They're, I don't know. At first, they won't get you. But second of all, the humor is not the type of humor most of them, or at least the people I know in Cabool, thinks that's funny. I enjoy the humor, but
you're different.
But I'm different. I'm not from Cabool.
So what you're saying, it's going to take them a pretty long time to get it in Cabool, huh?
Well, no, it's just not their type of humor, and I mean, it'll catch on, and there will be some listeners, and I don't know what.
Dan, do you think you're helping me with this, Dan?
No, I'm just trying to be realistic with Shelley.
Yeah, I see.
But if she's got a big bottom line there and can wait out 6, 7, 8 months, maybe she'll start to get her listener base back. But country music is going to be much more popular there than you are, Alan.
All right. Well, that's very lovely.
Aren't you glad you called?
Well, you know, not everybody could agree on this show. Dan, you've really reevaluating my career now. I'm really thinking about whether I want to keep doing this.
All right, Alan. Well, one last thing.
Yeah.
Love you.
Love you. It's beautiful, isn't it?
Well, now I don't feel so great now.
Wait a minute.
But plus, he insulted the intelligence of our listeners.
Wait. Look at the numbers here. Look at the number of people who've called up versus this last guy. I mean, you have to go with... You're not one of these managers who just believes the last person who walked into your office.
Well, no.
Right.
No.
But I tell you, we have another station owner on the phone.
Okay.
Frank Colmes, who owns 3 of the radio stations that carry this program.
Alan, I'll tell you
Frank owns WGL, WGLL, and WGL-FM, and all in Indiana. This guy is a mogul who is responsible for a large share of our audience.
We have you on 3 stations here in Fort Wayne. And I'll tell you what, it's the hottest thing we've got here. You know, I remember when we first went on the air with Rush Limbaugh, we got a lot of problems. A lot of people called and complained. And they wanted to boycott the station. Well, it took a little while, and they got used to it.
Not only that, but Frank's wife, Connie, has threatened to divorce him if he ever takes me off the air.
Yeah. And then when finally, then you came and we put you on, and I'll tell you what, we got pretty much the same reaction.
Yeah.
One day, maybe it was about a year or so ago, we decided that we were going to put you on 1 hour and then take your second hour and move it to make it into the third hour. You know, put something in between.
Right.
I thought we were going to get lynched. It was the audience came down on us. They won't tolerate that. They've got to hear Alan Colmes all the time. It is. I don't know. This. You're a great entertainer. You're very bright. You're very witty, and you're extremely intelligent.
I feel like I've died and they're doing my eulogy.
I don't understand how people can't see beyond that.
I don't understand either, because I see him the same way you see him.
Do you think that I would take two FM stations and an AM and put him on if he wasn't that hot?
No, I don't think that at all.
I think you got a small risk with just one station.
You know, I think I'm going to quit here before it doesn't get better than this.
You'll make it big, whatever you do. You stick with it.
Thanks very much, Frank. And Shelley, I just hope you're feeling. Well, I'll tell you, we're going to take a quick break, and then we'll come back, and I just want to see how you're feeling. Okay? We'll be right back. Don't go away. I wonder if you have reached a conclusion as to what you're going to do about this program on KOZX at this point.
What we're going to do, I'm making a management decision right now.
Yes.
We're going.
Wait a minute. We need any sound effects for this? We need the appropriate.
Do you have a drum roll?
I don't know. I'm getting a little nervous here. The control room will cue me when they're ready to go. All right. Okay. Go ahead. Hit it.
We are going to keep you on for a few more weeks.
A few more weeks? Wow! Yeah! I got a few more weeks! Wow, a few more weeks!
No, I'm not saying we'll take you off after 3 weeks. I'm saying we're going to continue this experiment for 3 weeks before we make a decision.
It's like Alex de Tocqueville or Thomas Jefferson talked about the experiment in democracy. This is the experiment in talk.
I feel like I'm in a petri dish or something.
I get another 3 weeks of life.
No. 3 weeks before we decide whether to axe you or keep you.
If this wasn't enough, Shelley, we pulled out all the stops here today. I don't know what more I can do.
Now you're making me feel guilty.
Am I going to have to bring you on in 3 weeks and go through this all over again?
All right, we'll keep you on 3 years.
No, that was a very quick and hasty decision. Let's not get carried away. Even I wouldn't keep me on for 3 years.
I was just being sarcastic.
All right, now... All right,
wait, can I ask this question? Are you anywhere near Branson, Missouri?
Sure, yeah, we're about an hour and a half drive from here.
Isn't that the place where they have all the shows and things?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
We'll come out and do a live show on stage.
You're making a
Yes.
commitment now that for us to go out there, and you're going to travel with us, right, Charlie?
Oh, I'm not going.
You're right.
You won't go.
He will never go anywhere. You wouldn't even go to the White House with us. We went to see Clinton.
That's right.
But Shelley, 3 more weeks of life. I mean, if this 45-minute bit got me 3 weeks, then it was worth it to me.
Well, it was a lot of fun for me.
I
mean that.
By the way, Shelley has a very sexy voice, doesn't she?
I knew you were
You knew I
going
was
to
going to say it. Natalie knows me so well.
But I want Natalie's job.
Yeah, she wants my job.
When she quit.
You don't want Natalie's job.
Just when she quit.
Natalie, first of all, I hope that I can't speak for Natalie, but from my perspective, Natalie's not going anywhere, so,
Well, I know that, but, if she ever does quit.
All right, so is this just a ploy? You're just going to string me along on your radio station till we can hire you?
No, I wouldn't do that. This is an honest thing here with you. This is how I feel. This is what's happening. This is what I want to do, to keep you on.
But this could all change in 3 weeks. I'm kind of disappointed that nobody from Cabool, they probably couldn't get through because our phones...
We've had people calling here saying they can't get through, that the lines are busy.
Because our phones have been very... But see, it tells you they're listening.
Yeah?
You know they're out there.
Okay.
Are you going to have this much fun playing Conway Twitty records?
No,
all right.
I wouldn't.
All right.
But I like Conway Twitty.
I think you should give me a 6-month commitment right now. I'll tell you what. Through the end of the summer, through the end of the spring book, through the end of June, end of the spring book.
Through the end of...
Yeah.
Through the end of April.
Yeah. No, the end of June, right to the spring ratings.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. The end of the spring ratings. Shelley,
You're quite a salesperson.
Thanks very much for being with us, Shelley.
You're welcome.
Thank you. And we're live on KOZX. I'm Alan Colmes. Thanks for listening.